a lot of people have great ideas. Anyone who I talk to is like, oh, I've been thinking to start a business in X or in Y or in Z, or I had an idea to make this, and this. And the thing is, anyone can have a great idea, but how do you make that happen?
I say I want people's soul to shine. Like, everyone deserves to have a soul that shines and to feel fulfilled and just enjoy what they do. And that's really my ultimate aim.
Welcome to Her Money Club Stories. We do not talk about budgets, retirement, or the hustle and grind here. We talk about money, time, and energy freedom. We are here to reimagine our relationship with money, to collaborate and celebrate other women who are doing the same. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to explore your passions and monetize your skills and talents and what lights you up? Can you even make money and a living that kind of life? You can. Her Money Club allows you to explore all of the possibilities to create the time, money, and joy your heart desires deep down. Tune in as we guide you in reimagining your relationship with money. You can find us for further episodes at financialfitnessunleashed.com/podcast. Special note, we are accepting applications for season 2. We would love to support you on your journey with money mindset, leaving a corporate job to step into business for yourself, or discussing how to build wealth. If you want more guidance in any of these areas, you can apply to be on Her Money Club Stories today at financialfitnessunleashed.com/podcast. See you in there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Her Money Club Stories. My name is Raechelle Minnie, the founder of Her Money Club. Today, we have special guests that I'm super excited to share with you all and dive into their money stories and their journeys, and share with you how our partnership has grown and flourished over the last couple of months and how we will be supporting all of you moving forward. So with that, let's dive right in. Tamzin, let's start with you. I would love to hear a little bit about what your background is, what you do for a living, and how you got into it.
Okay. First of all, I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited for this journey that the three of us are on. It's like, oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. So we'll come on to that later. So my background is, I would say, over the last, I suppose, year, I've been really struggling on how to introduce myself, because I'm like, I do this and I do that and I do this and I'm into this and I'm like this and this and this and this, and everyone's like, what on earth do you do? And I love Marie Forleo. She says a multi-passionate, doesn't she? Multi-passionate entrepreneur. So I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to go with that. So I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I do lots of different things, but kind of what threads through everything that I do is the foundation of psychology. So I've got this psychology background. I'm nearly finished a psychology degree, and I've taken the stance of business psychology because I want everybody to be happy and fulfilled and enjoy their life. We spend so long, whether it's at work and in business, I just want everyone to enjoy what they do and literally have that light shining. I say I want people's soul to shine. Like, everyone deserves to have a soul that shines and to feel fulfilled and just enjoy what they do. And that's really my ultimate aim. So I've got background in leadership and management. Really, that's kind of my my corporate career, is all that leadership, training, development, management piece. And I started the Interview Cheerleader in lockdown. And I started it because I was like, I want to help and support people. I want people to be happy. I was in this mindset, I'm going to wait to start a business until I finish my degree. I'm going to wait until this. I'm going to wait until then. But then I was like, why am I waiting? Why wait? Why not just do it today? And so I put myself out there. I started the Interview Cheerleader, and that was, that was quite successful. I've got courses, I've got books, I've got all of that just kind of trickles along. But I felt like I needed more. And me and Saskia were in this same group. And Saskia was running a YouTube channel, and she was like, hey, I want a guest. Does anybody want to come on? I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'll come on. I wanted to come on. I love, I'm that person that I'm always asking people if they want to meet for coffee. I'm always connecting, meeting people, just saying, hey, how are you? I remember when I used to travel a lot for work, and my colleagues always used to laugh at me because we'd be in an airport, they'd be at the bar getting a drink or nipping to the toilet, and all of a sudden they've left me for 30 seconds and I've sparked up a conversation with somebody. I'm like having coffee with some random person because like I talk to everybody. And so me and Saskia started our journey just from that. Do you know, I'd love to jump on a call with you and have a conversation with you. So I hope that answers your question. I feel like I've gone on a bit of a tangent there, which I am really good at.
You've answered it. Yeah. You're doing great. Yeah. I guess I would love to, and I think you kind of tiptoed around it, but out of all the multi-passionate things that you do, what one of those things do you enjoy the most and why?
It's UpHub. It's what me and Saskia do in UpHub. And I know exactly why. It's because we're doing it together. Like I love standing in front of a room full of people and training. I love training and coaching leaders to become amazing at what they do. I love helping business owners to create these amazing teams. I love interviewing. But all of that I do on my own. Whereas with UpHub, we do it together. I've got this person that is there for me, just supporting me every step of the way. We can bounce ideas off, we can share, we can laugh, we can cry, we can have fun, we can get stressed together. We just have such a great time. And we love the fact that Raechelle, we've opened up and you're included in that now as well because of what we're doing. And apart from the fact that we're helping our members and we're helping our non-members, we're helping so many people. It makes me happy that I'm helping people to find that and for their soul to shine. But I'm doing it with someone who is on that journey with me, and that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
I love that you say that because that's something I recognize this in the last couple of days. Like who have I like enjoyed working with in the past? And I always find that one person that I get with in a corporation or whatever. And it's like, we just work side by side so well together because I can be the visionary and like really create the roadmap of where we're going, but then they kind of fill in the pieces of like, okay, what about this detail? What about this? What about that? And I've always found my person in that, besides with Her Money Club. Now I do feel like I found that with both of you. So I enjoy that. And there's still like this missing piece. And so now that I'm aware of it, I'm like, okay, I got to have that other like person by my side who can kind of, to your point, like your dynamic, egg me on and like really work together with me to build and grow Her Money Club. And it's funny because I've had a few people who I've thought were my person, but then I realized like after more talking with them, they're not. But now that I'm like searching and like asking the universe for this, I know it will come to me now that I'm aware that it's a thing that I desire to have. But I love that you have that because it's very powerful and it makes it way more fun. Like everything about the experience is just so much more enjoyable when you have that power partner.
Yeah. And if I can tag in on that, I know we started with Tamzin, but I can't keep my mouth shut. The great thing about it, at least what I enjoy about it as well, is the yes and. So it's like, I have an idea, we could do this and this. And then the other one's like, oh, yes, and we can do that. And we can do that. Yes, and we can do that. And you can egg each other on, and we help each other stay accountable as well, because it's not just you. I mean, if it's just you, you can easily say, today I'm not feeling like it, the sun is being weird or the wind is coming from the wrong direction. I can't do that today. But when you're working with another person, it's like, I see them doing this and this stuff, I too should do stuff. So then you go, then you build that together. It's like they're doing a lot of stuff, amazing stuff. I want to do that too. I want to, you know, be in that culture. You create that culture together to just make amazingness happen. And then you have momentum creates more momentum. But momentum with two persons, that's like synergy. That's like 1 + 1 is 3. And that's what makes it so amazing to me as well. And of course, it's also it's like being it's business besties. We're having up together, but we share all sorts of stuff with each other, also from our personal life. If she has a rough time, I have a rough time, and also vice versa. So whenever we have big life changing events, I just had my daughter, I spoke to Tamzin daily, because it's just wonderful to have that best friend there with you, and that business bestie that helps you, and that also keeps the company going, even if you need to take a step up for a moment. And that's just magical.
Yeah. So good. Well, Saskia, now that we're on you, what do you do and why do you do it?
So what do well, as Tamzin, I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and for me, what's really at the base of my heart is helping people achieve their dreams. If you know, a lot of people have great ideas. Anyone who I talk to is like, oh, I've been thinking to start a business in X or in Y or in Z, or I had an idea to make this, and this. And the thing is, anyone can have a great idea, but how do you make that happen? That is really the trick. And that's really my passion, because the moment people achieve that, the moment people put that out there in the market, or it's big success, they get this sparkness, the way I call it, this spark in their eye. And Raechelle, I see you have it too. It's like the moment it's like, oh yes, I know what you're talking about, because it's your baby, or it's your idea, and you made this happen, and it's so amazing, and you love it, and you do it, and you just want to tell the whole world about it. Well, that to me is just the most amazing feeling in the whole wide world. And that's something that I have my sparkness is being able to tell people, oh, I helped this person achieve their dream. I helped this person achieve their dream. And for me, it's I help with mindset. So knowing you can do it, that's typically where a lot of people already, you know, think it's like, I have an amazing idea, but I'm not the right person. Who do I think I am doing that? Well, mindset is very important in that. It's having a strategy, so knowing how you're going to do it, and then of course doing it, because anyone can have a dream, anyone can make a beautiful planning, and then never actually do it. So actually, by how are you going to do it, and having daily habits, having that productivity system in place that will keep you going, that's really where I thrive. And by combining those 3 pillars, you can achieve anything, and of course with a great business bestie, you can achieve it even more, or beyond the dream that you have. And that's been the whole thread throughout my career. I've been a project manager. I have the entrepreneur suite, which is all about starting up a thriving business, and now we have UpHub, which is all about leveling up your business. You've already launched, you have your first few offers out there, but you want more, and you want, I hear a lot of people say, I started my business, I love it, but I feel so lonely. It's like shouting into the void all the time. And it's just, I feel so alone in it, and I don't want to feel alone, because I'm doing something amazing. I want to share this with people. I want to shout it from the roof, and I want to have people who are right there supporting me with it, and helping me level up even more. And that's the whole thought of UpHub, to level up your business. And that's just amazing to see also in the hubs itself. It's people now, they have their business, they're trying out new things, they're coming up with new ideas, and even members within UpHub who say like, oh wow, that's amazing, let's do it together, or you could do it this and this way, and then you get that synergy again. And that's just, that makes my day when I see that happen.
I think I nearly jumped out of my seat, didn't I? Like when that happened in the group, they were like, let's collaborate and do it together. I was like, oh my gosh, that's just so exciting.
That was so exciting. And the funny thing is, so, you're on a call, but of course you have your phone somewhere nearby. So you have a secret text line chain going. So the moment that happened, I just saw 10 and I was like, oh my God, this is happening.
Yeah, just brilliant.
Oh my God,
that was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Wow. Okay, lots to dig into. So a question I often ask, because I think a lot of women ask me this question, like, how did you do the thing? How did you transition? How did you make a decision, right? And choose to opt into something, right? Or overcome like a certain challenge. So I think I want to lead with this question for both of you to answer. And that's, can you think of a time when you overcame like a big money mindset hurdle? Like you were at a certain income or had a certain amount of debt, or like some sort of big thing money wise that you finally like flipped on a switch, or something happened, something pattern interrupted you and you changed, you switched.
Oh, that's a good question. Saskia, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? You like?
For me, well, I'd like to go first.
Go on, you go first. I could see your eyes like.
Well, for me, so I'm the kind of person I tend to over deliver. I always buy too large birthday presents. When I had my master thesis, I wanted it to include everything and not just get my master's degree for it, but I also wanted to get a puppy for it, and sparkles, and a cake, and a World Peace Prize, but
Oh my God, I love you even more now. Yes, me too.
It's a blessing and a curse, because you would not believe how often I had to go back to the store to actually be like, let's just do a smaller birthday present, because a bit much, a bit much. So I always want to be like, I'm a giver. And when we started Up Hub, it's a mastermind. It's intense, and Tamzin and I, we are all about making sure that our members have the best experience possible. And for me, what was really a money mindset thing is what you charge for such a thing, because it's I want to be like, oh, this should be accessible to anyone and everyone, because everyone can benefit from this. So if we keep our prices super low, then more people will come and we can help even more people. But then the thing with a mastermind is you don't want to undercharge, because the moment you do that, you get a different kind of people, a different kind of community, and then it's not a mastermind. Then you're in a membership, or then it's, you get a whole different dynamic, and that's not the kind of people that we actually wanted to attract. So Tamzin and I, we actually had a very good talk about that, and then had a very serious look into each other's eye. And
it was very serious.
We were very, glasses were like this, like super serious. And we decided, like, okay, we're going to do the mastermind. We're going to price it affordable. So still for mastermind, we are in the lower price range, because we want to have it affordable for everyone. But we are going to charge mastermind rates, because if we're going to charge lower for that, then we cannot serve the people who are genuinely looking for that kind of connection and support and accountability and the habits. And that was really a switch for me to switch on, like, dare we ask this kind of money? But we did, and I'm happy that we did, because we are attracting those kinds of people who are in it, who are showing up every week, because that's the thing with a mastermind, right? You have to show up every week, every day. You're there for your community, and the price is there for that. And I'm happy that I overcame that challenge, and that Tamzin helped me overcome that challenge as well.
I want to go one layer deeper, because I think this will support people as well, around the emotional component of it. Was it fear of charging too much? Was it guilt? Was it like, what kind of emotional journey did you go through in that transition? And like, what were you initially feeling or experiencing?
So for me, really just personally, me going really deep is I always doubt whether or not what I do and who I am, if it's good enough. I always do this. That's why I over deliver, because the more I give, the more I prove I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. See all the things that I'm doing, it's good enough. So stepping into instead of having that insecurity of, am I good enough? Stepping into that power of, I know I'm good enough. I bust my I know, is this a swearing podcast? But
yes.
I bust my balls
all the time. Yeah.
So I bust my balls to deliver and to make sure that it's really good. It's good content. That anything that the moment you step into the mastermind, you're like, again, it's like sparkles and cakes and unicorns and puppies and Nobel Peace Prize. The whole thing. You're not getting a Nobel Peace Prize joining the mastermind, but
not yet.
you are getting that. So. but then I have to own up to it as a person as well. I know what I'm delivering, I know what I'm doing, and I know that I can charge that for it because it is that good.
And I think that that links back to kind of what we were saying about doing it together and being in it together. We can challenge each other. We're not just, it's not just me, myself and I thinking I'm going to charge this because I wanted to, I was like, oh, let's charge X, and Saskia was like, no, we need to charge more than that. And if I'm perfectly honest, I still don't think we have the price right. I still think for what we give far too much for what people are paying.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we do need to review at some point, but we've got each other to challenge and say, right, now's the time to up it. And I think if it hadn't have been for Saskia, I would be charging a lot less, but then I think if it hadn't been for me, Saskia would be charging a lot less. And I say even now we're not charging enough. I know we're not charging enough.
And even with those two, it's like
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think having each other to just, what, we have so much goodness, we give so much that we can just challenge each other. And I think if you're doing it alone and you haven't really got that, you just are like, I'm going to charge X, and then nobody's there to say, we're giving too much, we need to up it. So I think from my perspective, everybody needs to review their prices because, as we navigate through, I'm like, wow, people are charging so little for so much that they're giving.
Yeah. It happens, I would say 80% of the time, even with the ladies I've coached over the years, like 80%, if not more of the time, they come to me with these prices and I'm like, no, you get to double that. Like, it's honestly a constant doubling conversation. And they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, we're not going to start there, but that's where we're going to get to, right? Because the more we as women continue to perpetuate undercharging and over delivering, that is the expectation. And we're going to get what we get with that. So it's like, I'm putting a stop to it. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel you. I still struggle with the good enough, right? Like, I like to just go over and above and beyond, and I'm very aware of it. So it's like, okay, constantly reminding myself it's already good enough, it's already enough, and just having the self-talk and awareness to walk through that.
And don't you find there's so many conflicting views out there? Like, some people say to you, give everything, give it all, give everything. Yeah. And some people say, don't give a thing, don't give a thing. And people are like, you need to charge this, you need to charge that, charge X, charge this. Coming from a corporate background, women are paid less than men. That is why. There's a whole load of history into why, but I feel like as we go into business, we still don't give ourselves enough credit to say, do you know what, actually I'm worthy of charging this because I give so much. I look at in my career, there's women that as a manager, what people are paid. There's women that are paid less than a man by a good 20,000-30,000, and they're doing so much more.
Twice as much.
Right? It's crazy. But we have that mentality as we go into business that we still can't charge as much as our competitors or someone else or a man or this. And it's a really difficult mindset to overcome, but it's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely. And one thing that really helped me and really helped up to get into that right mindset is some good old marketing research. What are others charging? What are male, female competitors charging? What are the typical mastermind charges? What's the range? And of course, for a mastermind, the range is pretty big. I mean, you have $50,000 masterminds. You have lower than that, of course. You have there's a whole range, but by just looking at what are prices of my competitors and what do they offer, I'm always about what's the content, what is it that they're giving, and then a lot of things you're seeing, you're like, I can do that, we're doing that too, they're charging that they're charging how much, and that really gives you a bit of a reality check of like, these are normal prices, and you can ask those kind of prices. You shouldn't devaluate yourself in that, because by devaluating your price of your mastermind, you're also devaluating yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. And also people out there will think like, oh, it won't be that much because you're asking so little, then it can't be good, right? So
Yep.
but what really helped us is just go out there, check out what are typical prices in the market, and what do they deliver, and can you deliver that? Are you delivering that? And if you do, then own up to it, step into that role of power, and dare to charge those kinds of
And
amounts.
scream it from the rooftops. Yeah.
And scream it from the rooftop. Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing. Tamzin, do you have any thoughts on like a money challenge that you've overcome in your career or in your life? And I'm curious for you if you have any income ones where like you asked for a raise or you asked for like more money at a new job, but if not, that's okay.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of those actually, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then when I get into the meeting, I chicken out. I can remember knowing that a colleague, a male colleague, was on a lot more than I was, and as I said, I was doing more work than him. Okay, I'm going to go into my review. I've got a monthly review of my boss. I'm going to go in and I'm going to ask for more money. I'm going to do it. Build myself up. Don't do it. Chicken out. And that happened time and time and time again. And actually, I ended up handing my notice in rather than bringing it to the table, because I was so scared. I don't know why, and I think this might come with age, that kind of now I'll be like, I'm just going to say it, or experience probably. And at the time I was in my 20s and I couldn't have that conversation. I couldn't bring myself to have that conversation, and I had them out in. They were really shocked, but they didn't offer me more money. They didn't offer me that money to stay, even though I'd been offered more money somewhere else. And I was like, I can't believe they've just accepted my resignation. They've just accepted it. And in the end, I thought, I've got to say something. I don't want to go. I don't want to move. I don't want to. So in the end, after about a week, and my boss said to me, I'm going to announce it. I'm going to share it. And I was like, just stop. And I found that courage to say, do you know what? I don't want to go, but I know this person's on X, rightly or wrongly, I know. And we had a conversation. Me and my boss, we had a conversation. He was very open with me. I was very open with him. I got my pay rise and I stayed. But if I hadn't have found that courage, I could have potentially just walked away and gone somewhere else. And I had a fabulous career for 15, 16 years at the same place. But if I hadn't have had that courage and found it, and it took, like I say, it took me a long time. It took me the time to, months and months of building myself to monthly reviews, building myself up. Every time I spoke to my boss, going to, I would phone him for the reason to ask him, have this conversation, and chicken out and say something else. So kind of, probably 6-8 months of just internal struggle, and then finding that courage. And now I'm of the impression that if you don't ask, you don't get. There's people out there, there's business owners out there. Gosh, I know, because some of them are my clients. And there's business owners out there who just openly say, if a member of staff isn't going to raise it, I'm just going to carry on paying them what I pay them. I'm not going to pay them more if they don't ask for more, because I assume why would I pay out more money unless they ask me and they bring it to the table? So, I really, obviously that brings in question to me about, right, we need to do the right thing for our staff, morally, is that the right thing to do? But, that's a different conversation for a different day. But for me, really, if we're not happy earning the salary that we're being given, and we know there's scope, even if we don't know there's scope, have that conversation, because it might be your line manager, your boss, company owner, whoever it is, might say, do you know what? Yep, I'll give you a pay raise. I don't want to lose you. Or they might say, actually, do you know what? I can't give you a pay rise right now because I don't have the funds. But if we put X, Y, and Z in place, then I could give you a bonus. Or if you bring X number of customers in, we can look at this and we can look at something else. There might be other opportunities. And so it's really easy for me to sit here and say, if you don't ask, you don't get. But I do truly believe it.
Well,
and
if I can challenge that, Tamzin, because, you know, so I've switched a few jobs here and there. That's the great thing about being a project manager. You can do it in a lot of sort of companies. So every time you switch a job, you're taking a risk because you're walking away from your contract, and you know you have risk of maybe you end up somewhere where you're like, oof, this is totally not what I expected it to be. So so every time I switch a job, you want to have a raise in your pay. Otherwise, why would you switch? Unless, of course, other reasons. But for me, it was always when I switched, I want to earn more as well. But then the question becomes, how do you know what you should be earning? And of course, there are websites out there where, like, you know, you're say, so I was a project manager in the high-tech industry. Do you think those websites had like, if you're a project manager in the high-tech industry, you should be earning this, isn't it? It doesn't. It's typically the vaguish thingy, like you do something in a company as a junior media, you should be earning, you know, it's how much can you ask for? And then I too have chickened out. And for me, it was often when, you know, you had your job interview, or you called up front and you were like, you know, how much, they ask you, how much do you expect to make, or how much would you like to make? And then say you have your current salary and like you want to say 120% of that, so that you take into account that risk. Then still I chickened out and I was like, let's just say 105%. And then, you know, there's still room for negotiation over there. So in the end, you're making a step, but you're not making that big of a step. But then, yes, to me, it was always the difficulty. How much can I ask for without them being like, I beg your pardon, you want to have how much now? Can you repeat that? So how do you know that?
You know, I think that comes down to negotiation skills and to, you know, putting a price. And Raechelle's going to have loads of thoughts on this. I know, I don't know, you know, it's that negotiation piece, and don't undervaluing yourself. But I suppose just
how would you tackle that? Would you just go towards like, okay, I'm just going to ask way out there and see how it lands? Or
so over the years, I didn't start off with this. I've learned to be audacious with my asks, because I actually am looking for and wanting that response, the excuse me response. Like, I want that, because now I have a threshold to work within. If they're saying yes easily and effortlessly, I haven't asked for enough. And I don't want that to be my starting point. I want them to be like, ooh, sorry. Like, we're like our max. And most people, this is what's crazy. When you give such an audacious number, they will come back with, ooh, sorry, like the highest we can go is this number. It's like, great. Now I know the number. Yeah. Yes, because please. You shock them, right? Like, you shock them because they know the number.
Yeah.
They're just like, and then you're like, well, let me think about it. Let me see if I can work, you know, then you are in complete control, right? It doesn't happen that way all the time, but I have experienced that once, and it was like, oh, finally I've hit an audacious enough number that was way more than I could actually want to get paid or care to be paid. But then I got their number, right? So I resonate with both of your stories, but Tamzin, especially, like, I love that you explain like the courage piece of it, because you made me realize, like, I switched jobs because I didn't have the courage, to like go and ask for something. I didn't even know that was the thing. I think at the time, especially in my early 20s, it was more of like, well, I know they're not going to give me the money, so I'm not even going to ask, and I'm just going to switch jobs. And so that was my strategy, right?
It was easier, right?
It's
easier
way
to have
easier.
that conversation.
Exactly. And so I would, every 2 to 3 years, change jobs, because I knew I could get more and I could get more. And so that was my strategy. And, you know, people ask me like, well, why did you quit this job or whatever. I'm like, honestly, a better opportunity. Every single one was a better opportunity. So it's like, you either give me the opportunity in the organization and I'll take it, or I'm going to look somewhere else for it. So I took that risk. And I think that's more acceptable these days. 15, 10, 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been as acceptable to constantly be switching jobs. But I just had this like limiting belief that because I'm a woman, because I'm a hard worker, I'm just going to be worked into the ground if I stay in one place. And even if I do get promotions along the way, it'll be these slow trickling promotions with very minimal pay. It's like, no, I'm not going to give myself that opportunity. I'm going to allow myself to do these other things. So, but I love that you like came down to the wire and like had the courage and then got what you wanted. Like, that's amazing. So thank you.
That takes a lot. We're putting ourselves out there. We're having the courage to be really vulnerable and say, you can reject me if you want. I can take that. And that's a really tricky place to get to. And none of us would be here now if somebody, talking about the three of us, if somebody hadn't reached out and said, should we jump on a call? And that, that in its simplicity is us being vulnerable and having the courage to be rejected, really. But we didn't. We took the chance, and look at how fabulous it is. And I always say, if you don't ask, you don't get. Yes, okay, I agree, Saskia. You have to know exactly what it is you want to be asking for. But if you don't ask, you're closing the door on so many possibilities. So what if they say no? So what if somebody doesn't meet you for coffee, jump on a call, give you more money? So what? Because there's somebody out there who will. And that's when it's going to be amazing.
Yep. And that's your person, that's your company, that's your space, like be in that space and find and search for it. So, we could go on for this conversation, but I want to wrap it up and I want to share just a little bit of our partnership. And I'd love for each of you to share what you wish to about this partnership. So Tamzin and Saskia have joined me in partnership to help support Her Money Club Mastermind specifically. So the Her Money Club Mastermind, as we've discussed, is a place where ambitious women can come to really jumpstart their business or passive income stream, and specifically getting them to $100,000 or above $100,000. So it's a lot of that beginning journey phase of experimentation, refinement, and creating the scalable process. So we work on sales, on marketing, on offers, a lot of the things that we've discussed today, mindset, and just really overcoming the limiting decisions that we've made in our past to help us move forward. And we do that in a mastermind format where you have a tribe of women that do it with you, 4 to 5 women that get together on a weekly basis, hold each other accountable, celebrate with each other, have the hard, vulnerable conversations with one another, and really level up together. So Tamzin and Saskia support that entire process. So maybe if you two wanted to share like what that looks like behind the scenes. And then also, I know that our group has access to some of UpHub's library of tools. So maybe if you want to speak into that as well.
Do you want to start, Tamzin?
Oh, do you know what?
Just lighting up like
silence. Like I was like, I just know this is Saskia's bag. So I'm like, I'm going to take a step back because Saskia's like, back end process, everything's in place, everything works amazingly. Like Saskia's got this down to an absolute T. I don't want to take any of that limelight away from you.
well, it's the great thing about having a partnership is you complete each other. So it's not just me, because Tamzin is she's the owner of the people-centric business, but to me she's the people-centric person. She is, she knows everything about our members. What's going on, how can we help you, how is it going? But she can tell that way better than I can. But I just want to say, don't just think that it's all me. No, but I'm super excited about this partnership because you have a lot of programs or online training or online programs where you get a good training, you get good content, and then good luck to you, go out and do it. and what our collaboration really thrives about is Raechelle, I know you have amazingly good content, and that we here, so Tamzin and I, we're here to make sure that everyone in the program, you know, follows through on it. As I said in the beginning, it's one thing to have an amazing idea, it's one thing to learn something amazing, but you need to apply it. It's all about execution, and Tamzin and I are here to help people, you know, execute on it, and to make sure that whatever they learn, they apply it in their business, and that they grow beyond their expectations. And we have a whole platform for that, just designated for that. So we don't have the thing where you have like go here and you'll find something, and you have go here and you find something. Wherever you are, if you have a phone, if you have internet, you have everything all in one platform. You have the whole community, and the great thing about UpHub is we work in hubs. So also for Her Money Club, you are part of the whole UpHub community. You have the Her Money Club community in that, and in there you have those hubs, so those 4 or 5 people groups, so that you have your small knit tribe together, but you also have the whole community. So you have, you know, the perks of a large community and a smaller tribe. And that's just amazing. We have daily inspiration, weekly calls, we have monthly challenges and masterclasses, we have the quarterly goal setting. So everything that Raechelle, that you are teaching your amazing members, everything that they learn, we are here to make sure that they follow up on it, and we will keep you accountable, especially Tamzin. She's but that's how, you know, and that can be uncomfortable, and sometimes we will ask the uncomfortable questions, but that is how you grow, that's how you apply it, that's how you overcome those questions, like how am I, who am I daring to ask this kind of price? Well, we're here to give you that reality check and to help you level up your business, so that you have those amazing results.
I love that. And I think, you know, it's, to me, it's such an honor to work with you, Raechelle, and to have, you know, the 3 of us form this partnership. This is something that's really exciting because all, you know, we have our own individual expertise, and you know, you two are just absolutely phenomenal. Like, I absolutely, you two are fabulous, and I just know that together, everything that we bring to the table, we can just help so many people to achieve, because there's 3 of us with our strengths, and we all bounce off each other. And you know, Raechelle, you work your absolute magic in everything that you do. You know, you are fabulous with your ladies and everything that you provide. We're there, Saskia says, just to, you know, make sure that these ladies, they do it. They've committed to you, they've committed to themselves, they've committed to their business, to their career. We're just going to make sure that they are always going in that right direction, because it's blimming hard. Being an entrepreneur, doing anything you want to do is hard. We have bad days. We have days where, like, I cannot be bothered. We have days where we feel we've been, you know, we have been rejected. We feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we can't do this, we can't do that, all of that stuff. We're here to pick you up and say, right, this is where you're going. This is why you want to do it. This is what you've committed to. You're going to do it, but we are behind you 100% of the way. And if you feel like you're falling, give us a buzz. We're here. If you need anything, reach out. We're here. And that's where the magic that we can add to your amazing magic already, that's how we can help, because we can be just that support network, that safety net, that cheerleader in the background. You know, our members, if they're going into, you know, we've had it where they're going into a meeting, they're standing up in front of people, they're putting themselves out there, and they're really scared. They've told us they're going. We're all texting them, messaging them. You've got this. You're going to be brilliant. You're there. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in the car. I don't know if I can do it. We've all been there. We've all been in that situation. We're like, I'm going to talk myself out of this. But actually, we're that support network that won't let you talk yourself out of it. You're going in. You're doing it. You're going to smash it. You're doing it. And that's what we can add.
Yes. Smash it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me here today. We will, I'm sure, have many more of these conversations where we get to spout off about all of our stories and all of our wins and celebrations and challenges that we've had along the way. So I just really appreciate your time and thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. I had a blast. It was so nice.